the next 15 minutes, we'll be focusing on campaigns, leads, surveys, and opportunities. As you do recall, last week we actually presented regarding partners, analytics, contacts, incidents. We also showed you the service portal, and then using custom objects, we displayed partner information, assets, and store information. So today we're going to focus on surveys, campaigns, opportunities, and leads. As many of you remember, the Oracle Service Cloud console, I have logged in as Steve McKinney from Helix, and the first thing that I have done, and we're going to be looking at very quickly, is the opportunities within Oracle Service Cloud. The report that I currently have pulled up is My Opportunities. I have a picture displayed of the sales rep, so we're going to pretend that's me for right now. And then underneath that, you can see that I have several different opportunities. Two of them with KFC, two of them with the Western Pacific distributors. I've also, within this report, show the opportunity name, who the contact is, what my rep forecast amount is, what stage it's currently in, and when it was updated, and whether it's forecasted. The other thing that I've done with this report, as you can see here, that there's an opportunity ID associated with each one of those. When you click on it, it actually displays the tasks that are associated to each one of these opportunities. Now, I'm showing this to you as kind of a launching point or to get started. As sales reps go, they like to be out selling or talking with contacts or customers rather than filling out paperwork or using computer systems to put in their information. But in order to manage your business, that's a critical step. So what I've done is taken it to another step and made it a little bit easier for the sales reps to enter their information. So in this particular scenario, I'm going to come up here to the upper left-hand corner and click on New and select Opportunity. So I'm going to create a new opportunity. And instead of displaying a normal workspace for your sales representatives, what I've done is put it into what we call a script. And it actually steps them through the process of creating a new opportunity. So in this case, we're going to put in that this is KFC, and it's going to be in San Mateo, California. So I'm just going to put that in. Probably misspelled that, but close enough. What the summary of this is, so this would be, this is new franchise opening. And the next thing that I'm going to do is come down here, and you can see that it already knows who I am, so it's put in Steve McKinney from Helix. I'm going to select which partner that this is for. So I'm going to open this up, and I can do a search on this. If I typed in KFC as an example and did a search, it automatically knows that KFC exists within Service Cloud, and so it found it, put it into the partner information. And then when I click on who the contact is for that partner, you can see here that there are different folks. It realizes that I have selected KFC, and it said there's Evan Daniels, Harlan Sanders, and Julie Smith that are contacts associated with KFC. Which one would you like to use? I'm going to use Julie Smith. I also added a custom field in here called product line. So we have open fryer, pressure fryers, combi ovens, holding, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a open fryer. And then we've got the next button. And the next button leads them down the steps of what is the strategy for this particular opportunity. So I can select lead qualification, direct sales, channel partner, closing deals, and so forth. All of these are customizable, so you don't have to use them, but these are the ones that we've built in. I'm going to go ahead and say direct sales. And based on doing that, the system already knows that if I have a strategy called direct sales, there are certain tasks that are associated. And so it's letting me know that I have selected a direct sales strategy, and therefore it's going to update the tasks associated. So I'm going to say yes. Once I did that, you can see that the next field here is stage. And because I've set it up for direct sales, it knows that stage 1 is new contact. Then the next one is type of sale. Again, this is just a custom field that I've entered or created. I'm going to select new and then click on the almost done button. That takes me to the very last page where I'm asking for when is this going to close. So select a date. I'm going to go ahead and say June 15th, so a month from now. And then what is the value of this? So I'm going to go ahead and put $25,000. And once I do that, then the rep commit button actually becomes active. So I'm going to hit the enter button. And now that you can see that the rep commit is something that I can then enter, and I'm going to say, yes, I am going to commit to the $25,000 by June 15th. And then I've got a button here and I called it all done. Once I click the all done, it takes me to the opportunity workspace. So you might ask yourselves, well, couldn't the sales reps have filled this out in this format as well? And the answer is yes, they could. I use the scripting because it just steps them through. It lets them know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. And then that way they fill it out correctly the first time. So all the information that I just went through the script with is now in the workspace. And really, in this particular scenario, I could, as a rep, just hit the save or save and close, and I'm done. I filled out everything that I wanted, summaries, who the partners, contacts are, what the product line is, what the strategy is, what the type of sale, it's new. Over here to the right, you can see that I did select Julie Smith as a contact, and then you can see that there's Opportunity Details tab. So with the manager commit, right now the rep has committed, but the manager has not. Here's the forecast close date and the amount as well. If there's any competitors, again, you can go in and actually input your own competitors if you want. I selected 3 of them, Central Restaurant Products, Web Restaurant Store, and Food Service Warehouse. So if I do know as a sales rep that I'm up against one of these 3, I can either select one or all of them. I'm just going to select Central Restaurant Products at this point. There is nothing else that I need to do, but I do want to point out a couple of features. One is the sales tasks. So you can see here that there is a list of different tasks that are now assigned to me, and it's due to the fact that it's in a current stage and a direct sales strategy. So you might ask yourselves, well, did you have to create each one of these? And the answer is no. It is done by the system automatically. As soon as I select strategy, then it changes the tasks that are associated. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you now. I'm going to change this from direct sales to lead qualification. And as soon as I do that, it says you're about to change the strategy. Are you sure you want to do this? And the answer is yes. And then as I click yes, you can look over here on the sales task tab and watch it change automatically by itself. And there you go. So every single strategy has its own tasks that are already predefined, so that if you have a methodology within your sales organization, you can put that into the system and then it will follow along with exactly what you want the representatives to do. Now that we're finished adding our tasks and the information within the actual opportunity itself, I'm going to go ahead and hit the save and close. And then it takes me back to my opportunities. Now this report here, I'm going to go ahead and click on refresh. And now you can see that I've got all of my different opportunities in here and then the tasks that are associated with each one of those. So as I click on KFC Idaho, you can see that I've got different tasks for them. The same for Chili's in San Mateo. And then the same for Mark Pie's Asian Cafe as well. Now, although I do not typically go into the weeds, so to speak, of how the opportunities are set up, I thought it would be helpful to show you exactly how those tasks are associated with the strategies. So in my navigation set, you can see over here to the bottom left-hand side that as an administrator, I have a sales folder, and under that is strategies. So when I double click on strategies, it brings up a tab, and then you can see that I've got a different strategy for lead qualification, direct sales, channel partner closing, just like the drop-down menu you saw a few minutes ago. Now, if I open up lead qualification, you can see that there's sub-tasks underneath. So new contact, capture details, first call, identify the need, outline the customer needs, determine the budget, and again, you can put all the task name in here, the task interval, the number of days associated with it, any kind of notes or descriptions, and so forth. So as I select a strategy, then it automatically creates the task names and the intervals associated with those. Hopefully that helps. Now that I've added the opportunity, and you can see that I've got the San Mateo with Julie Smith, in case you ever wanted to look up the opportunity by contact, I can always come over to the left-hand side, type in Julie's last name of Smith, hit my enter button, and as I do that, it'll search and find everyone with the last name of Smith. And here's Julie. So I'm going to double click and open up her contact record, and this is part of what we showed you last week as well. So this should look very familiar to you from a contact information, incidents and claims tab, the store details, and then the next tab was not here last week, but this is what I'm getting ready to show you is the opportunities. So all the opportunities that are created are always associated to either a contact or a partner, and in this case it's both. So if I open up the partner or the contact, I'm always going to see the opportunities associated, so that if anybody pulls up Julie Smith and they want to see if there's any current opportunities for her or associated to her, they can always click on the Opportunities tab. As with the contact, I'll also do a search based on KFC over here on the left-hand side. And as I do that, because there is one KFC, it goes straight into the workspace. But again, notice that there is a Opportunities tab now associated with this KFC. As I click on that, you can see all of the opportunities associated with this particular store. The next area that you might be asking yourself is, are there analytics or reports around the sales and opportunities and tasks? And the answer is absolutely, probably more than what you would ever need. So I've opened up the Reports Explorer, and under Opportunity Tracking, you can see that there are folders here for common and executive level, revenue analysis, win-loss analysis, manager reports. Underneath each one of these are subsets of different reports. So quota attainment trend, close forecasts. There's probably about 200 to 300 different reports just around opportunities, tasks, strategies, win-loss, close revenue, breakdown of percentage of close revenue, breakdown of volume versus close. So all these reports are built into the system and can be modified or just used out of the box to create dashboards. All the reports that you see along the folders you see along the left-hand side all contain different sales type of reports. The next area I'm going to go into is campaigns, and this is another component of Oracle Service Cloud that we were not able to show you during our first presentation, but I did want to very quickly cover it so that you understand what the capabilities within Oracle Service Cloud are. So I'm going to click on Campaigns Explorer up here at the very top, and the way that I got there again was through my navigation over here on the left-hand side. There is a Campaigns tab, and when you double click on Campaigns Explorer, you'll be presented with the actual reports and folders that come with the Campaigns Explorer. So in this particular case, I've got a campaign, and I just want to show this to you. It's very, very slick. And again, all of this is intertwined and part of the out-of-the-box functionality. So nothing I'm showing you today has been customized. It is all out-of-the-box functionality. And I want to just show you what a campaign looks like. So this one's called Launch Event Invite Sign Up. And you can see that there's an invitation here, and there's a little envelope on there, which means that this campaign happens to be launched through an email campaign, if you will. And that email has a link that says, click on this to register. And so that's what this next box here is showing, is that there's a registration form. And when they submit, there's another decision that says, are they registered, yes or no? If they are registered, then it gives them a thank you page. And then it puts them into a list called attendees, and it sends them a confirmation. And then there's another email that will go out, and there's a timer set on this. And if I click on that and open it up, you can see the schedule. It's going to send another email out. In this case, it's going to wait 5 days after the previous action and send out that reminder email. If they didn't register, they still get a thank you, but then there's a follow-up email that will go out as well. So all of this is just drag and drop. You can see over to the right-hand side how I've created this. So being able to serve web page or a broadcast mailing, add people to a list, create an opportunity. So again, if I drag this over, I can actually have the system automatically create an opportunity as soon as somebody registers for an event, as an example. So all this is drag and drop, and then standard connectors put all of it together. So you might then ask yourself, okay, that's great that there's a campaign. How did the email get started? So I'll take you into the Mailing Explorer. And the Mailing Explorer, again, has its subfolders here, and then you can create brand new mailings. In this particular case or example, I'm going to show you what a mailing looks like. In this case, it's called Event Invitation. And again, this is all out of the box Oracle Service Cloud. You can see that there's a summary for this email campaign. The method of this mailing is a broadcast, meaning which I'm going to send it out to a large list of folks. Right now, the audience count is 380. And then you can also do previews of the message as well. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how did he come up with the 380 folks that are going to be sent? There is an audience tab, and you can actually create segments and lists within Service Cloud using contact information. So if you import, as an example, say 2,000 customers or contact information, and that includes an email, then you can create a segment or a list and say, I would like to send out the campaign to those folks that I just imported into the system. And then down below here, as you send this out, any good marketing organization will understand that you have to have a global opt-in list. You can also limit the frequency of the communication that you send out, the recency of communication, and then of course you always want to honor any external suppression list. So the limit frequency, if I check that box, I can say, please don't send an email to any contacts that might have received 2 or more messages in the last 1 day. I'm going to change that to 10 days just by clicking on this. And then that way you're not overkill with messages going out to customers. The next tab on this is the actual message itself. So the subject line is special invitation for, and then anything in green means it's going to pull from database fields, first name and last name. Putting in a logo here, it's going to put in Dear Steve if it was coming to me. And then again, it's an invitation in this email. So when they click on the click here, it takes them to a form, a web form that was created in Service Cloud that allows them to register. Of course, you can always send proof messages. So before this would ever go out to those 380 contacts, you might want to send a proof message internally, either to an individual or a list of individuals. And then the delivery is, when do you want this email to go out? There is no limitation as to the number that can be sent. I've seen it as high as 500,000 emails. I've seen it as low as 500. So you can say send it now, or you can send a schedule, or you can have it reoccur by sending it. And then the last one, of course, tabs, is the results. So as the campaign is sent out, you have different reports built into this that you can go in and say, show me what the mailing statistics are. So how many people actually registered. I'm not sure if there's any data in here. Looks like, no, there was not. So this has not been sent out yet, but when it does, it shows you the name, how many were sent, how many were opened, total clicks, if there were any bounce backs, and if anyone has unsubscribed to that. The last area that I'd like to go into today is surveys. This happens to be one of my favorite subjects within Service Cloud. Surveys often intimidate people, and they think it's probably very difficult to create. And the answer is absolutely not. In Oracle Service Cloud, surveys can be created in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. The things that are important about surveys within Service Cloud is that it is tied back to a customer record. So in a lot of organizations, they'll use other software like SurveyMonkey or something to that effect. But the issue is that it's never really tied back to the contact within the CRM database. In Service Cloud, it is. They're very easy to create, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a couple of easy steps. First thing we're going to do is go to our navigation and go to Survey Explorer. And you can see here that I've got a bunch of folders here with different surveys within them, but we're going to create one from scratch. So I'm going to click on Create New Survey. So the next thing it does is gives you a little wizard. It says, what type of survey would you like to create? So you can create polling surveys that you can put on a website that just asks people at random. It's not tied back to an actual contact record of, do they like this product or not like this product. A website link survey is used in post chat. So when a chat is completed, it will actually pop open the survey in a browser. A transactional survey can be created, which means that it's only sent out if a opportunity is closed, if a incident gets closed, if anything within the system can trigger it, then a transactional survey can be sent out based on that trigger. And then the last one is a broadcast survey. So if you have 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 customers and you wanted to send out a survey to all of them, you would use a broadcast survey. If you only wanted to find out how you're doing from a service standpoint or a sales standpoint, then transactional survey is the way to go. In this example, we're going to use transactional survey. So the first thing that it comes up with is very similar to your email campaigns and marketing is your summary here. And it does show that the invitation method is this is a transactional survey. The next tab is the actual survey itself, or the questionnaire. And you can see that it is blank at this point. So creating a survey is pretty easy to do. Over on the right-hand side, you can click on Add a Question. And what Service Cloud does is allows you to create questions independently and then use those questions throughout different surveys. So as an example, chat. So chat closure, chat satisfaction. I'm not going to be using chat as part of this survey. It's going to be more transactional. So I'm more interested in customer satisfaction. So are you likely to refer is a question that's already been created. So I'm going to double click on that and it automatically pops the question into my survey. I'm going to come back over and add another one. And in this particular scenario, I'm going to say, you know what, the question is not here. I need to create a new one. So I'm going to click on New Survey Question, and it's going to open up this window, and the question text is going to be, how did Steve do in this demo? Okay, and the question type is going to be choice, so I can select text, choice, or a matrix. In this case, it's going to be choice. And I'm going to display this not as a menu, but I'm going to display this as radio. And then I'm going to add a choice. So the choice to answer this is going to be excellent. And I'll give it a score so that I can use this in reporting later and say that's a perfect score, he gets a 5. I'm going to add another one that says he did really well. And that one I'm going to give a score of 4. And I'll add one more. You can notice here that I am not giving myself any options of a bad survey. So your choices are going to be excellent, he did really well, he was awesome. Okay. And if I want to move this he was awesome up a little bit, I can come over here to the right hand side and just move that above. And so now here's the 3 choices. It's easy and simple as that. I'm going to hit save and close, and I'm going to call this Steve Demo Question. And hit save. And now that you can see that I've got the option here, I'm just going to double click on it, and now it has created a question to go into the survey itself. I can add HTML content into this. So as an example, if I come in here and click add HTML, I'm going to create an image. I'm going to paste this link in here to a Henny Penny logo. Henny Penny demo. Henny Penny right now. Demo.com/, and now I've got a logo, and I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now it's put the logo at the very bottom of my survey. I don't like that, so I'm going to click on it and actually drag it to the very top. So now I've got my header up here, my HTML content. I have question, and that's it. Then I come in and say, how do I want this invitation message to be sent? So in this case, it was transactional. The actual message itself. So how do I want to invite them to take the survey? So I can say, let's go ahead and begin with blank content, and it puts in the link to the survey right there automatically. I'll move this down here and just say dear, and then I'm going to come down and actually put in the customer's name. So I'm going to select merge field, contact, and then I'll select their first name. And once I'm finished with that part, I'll say, please take this survey. And it's simple as that. So now I've created an invitation message to actually take the survey. The same as with the other email campaigns that I showed with proofing, reminder, and then delivery. I would have to launch this in order for it to start working. Now, when this message is sent out, or this actual survey is sent, is really based on business rules within the system that say once a incident is set to closed, then fire out this survey message. Some of the things that you can do that are a little bit more complex, but it is something that's important to know, is as they're filling out this survey, if I switch over to advanced mode and it says, are you sure you want to do that? The answer is yes. So I'm going to save this as Steve's survey. And now that I've done that, you can see that page 1 is my actual survey. So if I open that up, you can see that that is the page. And then once it's submitted, it'll go to a web page, and I can actually brand that if I want to. But one of the really interesting parts about surveys within Service Cloud is me being able to add in a decision. And I can actually say, if in this condition, so if the question became Steve's demo question equals, he was excellent. So I'm just going to give this a name. So if that is the condition, if that is true, then I can do nothing. But if it's not excellent, then I can actually have the system create an incident from a survey response and automatically put that into a queue for a supervisor if the survey was below a certain score. So that's something that it's really important for me to point out to you. So I really appreciate your time today. I hope that this was informative. Again, for a live demo, please reach out to Mike Skelton at Helix, and we'd be happy to show any of you everything that I demonstrated today in a live webinar or GoToMeeting.